Hey everyone, my name's Dave, and I'm here to talk to you this evening about the Swift Package Manager and the Swift Package Index. But before I get started with that, just give you a quick introduction to who I am. So, like I say, my name's Dave Verwer, and uh, you might know me from a newsletter that I send out every week by email and RSS called iOS Dev Weekly, which is a kind of roundup of the week's news and community news and interesting links to code and articles that have been written covering kind of this week in iOS development. So, of course, this week's issue is going to be all about WWDC because, of course, here we are right in the middle of Dub. But every week it's something different. It's whatever happened within iOS development this week. Another thing that I do, and in fact the main thing that I do these days, is work on the Swift Package Index, which is a project that you can see on the screen here in front of you. It's a project that myself and somebody called Sven Schmidt, we created this together, and our goal when we created this was to create a index of all the Swift packages that we could find, basically, but not only to gather them together into an index, but to highlight good quality packages and help you make good decisions about the dependencies that you use in your apps. So here's the website, and I'm just going to give you a very, very brief run through the website, and then we'll get on to the main part of this talk, which is to teach you how to submit a package into the index, because I believe you're all going to be potentially creating packages this evening, and we'd love to have those packages in the index so that other people can find them and use your code. So this is the site, and as you can see, it's got a search box kind of front and center. So let's try and find a package. Let's see if we were looking for like a networking package, right? Straight away, we've got a list of search results. Come back, I can see some of these search results, and let's take a look at this one because it's one that I know very well. It's probably one that you know very well. It's a very popular package called Alamo Fire. So let's have a look at what the Swift Package Index is showing us here. Like I say, it's intended to help you make good decisions, and so we're trying to highlight information here that helps you, that lets you know whether a package is well maintained, whether it's correctly licensed with something that you can use on the App Store, how popular is it, and things like that. So straight away, obviously we've got the name of the package here, and we've got the description that the package author set just below it. But then we're pulling in some metadata that we're grabbing from GitHub and the Git repository and the package.swift file and all sorts of places around the package itself. So we can see that it's been development for 6 years with a huge number of commits and 67 releases. That shows me straight away that this is a mature package. But how well maintained is it? Was it abandoned 3 years ago? I mean, I happen to know this one wasn't, and we can tell that it wasn't by looking at what we see here. So there are currently 29 open issues and 6 open pull requests. The last issue was closed 15 hours ago, which is not very long ago, and the last pull request was merged or closed yesterday. So this is an active project that people are contributing to. It's clearly a well-maintained project. It's licensed with MIT, which is a compatible license with the App Store, which is great. And it has an enormous number of stars. So this is clearly a popular package. I think most of you maybe knew this package already, but that's what we're trying to get across here. The next thing that you'll see is what versions of Swift and what platforms this package is compatible with. So we test the compatibility by compiling every package on all different versions of Swift and all different platforms. And in fact, if you're interested, you can see the full report of every build that we do and whether they succeeded or failed. You can even come in and see the log file. I won't go into too much detail right now because that's not important for picking a package. That's more for like if you really want to look at it, or if you're the package owner and you want to see why it's failing on some certain platform combination. What you want to look at, though, is the compatibility in terms of what Swift version are you targeting. So we currently support up to Swift 5.4, which was, well, as of last week, it was the latest version. There is now a Swift 5.5 beta out. And we can see that Alamo supports back to Swift 5.1. It also supports every platform, at least on the main branch. There was a failure of the Linux build of this. Now that may be that they don't support Linux, or it could just be that there was something in that release that broke compatibility with Linux. But you can see the compatibility with iOS, macOS on both Intel and ARM. And so it's giving you really current and up-to-date information about what versions and platforms this package will work with. And then finally, you've got the README file, and of course you can read that and find out more about what it does from there. So that's an overview of what the package index is. The next thing I want to cover is how you would add your package to the index. So I'm going to explain this, and in fact I'm going to demonstrate it for you tonight. But before I do that, I will just say that there are instructions on how to do this on this page here. So if you click the add a package page, there are full instructions on how to add your package here, but I'm actually going to go through and demonstrate it kind of end to end. So the first thing that we'll refer to here is it says there is a publicly available JSON file, and that JSON file is in a repository called Swift Package Index /package list, and this is an open source repository. And there's not an enormous amount of stuff in this repository, but one file is very important, and that is the packages.json file, which is that file that we just linked to from the previous previous page. And what this is it's a JSON file that contains an array of strings, and each string is the URL, including the .git extension of a repository that contains a Swift package. So all of these packages are hosted on GitHub, and you can see here that there are in fact 3,774 lines of packages here. What the package index does is every few minutes it comes and it fetches this file, and it checks whether every package in this file is also mirrored in the package index database, and if there are any that it's missing, so any new packages that people have added to this file, it will grab that URL and it will go fetch the content of that repository, and it will go and analyze all the metadata that it can about the content of that package and produce a page on the package index for every package in this file. So effectively, to add your package to the package index, all you have to do is add the URL into this packages.json file. So I actually have a test package here on my GitHub account, and this is the package that I'm going to add to the package index tonight. This is not a real package, it's a package that we use to kind of test some stuff around the package index, and you shouldn't use this package, but we are going to add it into the package index in this demonstration tonight. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make myself a copy of the package list repository. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fork the package list repository, and I'm going to fork it to my personal GitHub account. And as soon as that's done, I will have my own copy of the package list. So I've got Dave Verwer /package list now, which is a repository on my account, and it was forked from swiftpackagindex.packagelist, which is the repository that I will eventually merge my change back into. But this is my copy of it, so I can do whatever I want with this. So the first thing I need to do here is I need to copy the URL of this repository, and I need to, if I come into terminal here, I can just git clone, and I'm going to pop this just on my desktop. So I've cloned that package list repository, and let's cd into it. And what I'm actually going to use here this evening to manipulate this repository is a tool called Tower, which is a Git client, a graphical Git client. You can of course do this bit with any Git client, or in fact in the command line if you would prefer to work that way. So you can do that with whatever tool to manipulate Git that you're comfortable with. And what you'll see here is on the package list repository, we have all the commits that people have added their different packages with. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our commit to this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the packages.json file in a text editor. So here it is, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the HTTP URL to the package that I would like to add to the repository. So here's my left pad package, and I'm going to drop down the code, little drop down here, and I'm going to make sure that this is set to HTTPS. So it's very important that we add the HTTPS URL, not the SSH URL. This may be the default as you open this up, but you just need to switch it across onto HTTPS, and then just press the copy button there on next to the URL. And into my text editor, I'm just going to add a new string containing that package repository, and it's got the .git on the end, which is important, but GitHub gave us that as well, so there's really nothing else we need to do. Now, one of the things that we need for this file to be valid is we need this file to be sorted, but we actually have a validation script that will, if it finds an unsorted file, it will sort it for you and write the sorted version back to disk. So I'm just going to save this version right now, and I'm going to go and I'm going to run the validation file. So if we have a look in this directory, you'll see that there is a validate.swift file in this directory, and that's the validation script. So if I just do /validate.swift, and if I run that, it's going to try and validate this package. It's going to check whether it's got a package.swift file. It's going to check whether it's got targets and products and libraries inside it. And it's also going to check whether it's sorted. And it's found that this file was not sorted, and it says it's written the sorted version back. And if we look back in the text editor here and we search for my name, we can see that it's now put that package in the right place in this file. So I'll save that file again, and now I'll just run the validate script again, because now it should validate cleanly, it should validate successfully. So I'm going to run that validate. It's going to say processing the package list, validation succeeded. If you see validation succeeded, you're in a really good shape to then commit that and push it for a pull request. So let's do that. I'm going to switch back to my Git client, and sure enough, there is the change that I made to the packages.json file. I'm going to stage that. I'm going to say added Dave Verwer /leftpad. I'm going to commit that change, and I'm going to push it up to GitHub into my repository. So this is in my version of the package list, which I'm now going to try and pull into the main package list repository. So here's the package list repository, and this is my copy of it. So you'll see that if I refresh this page, it now says this branch is one commit ahead of the main package index repository. So it's great for a pull request. So I'm going to click on pull requests. I'm going to say new pull request, and it's going to actually default to the right thing to do here. I'm going to merge Dave Verwer /package list into Swift package index /package list. So I'm going to pull my change that I've just made into that repository. The package index will then see that change, and it'll add my package to the index. So I'm just going to hit create pull request. The title is fine, so I did add that package. What I could do here is I could fill in what package I've added, and I could also just grab the URL to the package again and pop it in here like that. So that just tells us, as you submit a package, it tells us what that package is so that we can check it out. We can have a look at it. We're interested. The other thing that we need to do is just fill in this checklist. And the good thing about this is that if you've run that validate script, you're already done. So we can just put a tick against the I have run the validate.swift, and because it says I've either or, I can actually just delete all the rest of this because it's not important, because all the rest of the things in that checklist there are checked by validate.swift. So that's it, we're done. I'm going to create the pull request, which is going to submit this for approval, and both myself and Sven just got an email that says somebody has submitted a package to the package list. We'll come on and we'll approve it. And as soon as we've approved it and merged this into the package list, then about 5 minutes later, your package appears in the package index, and that's it, it's done. So that's how you submit packages to the package index. And I really hope that some of you, or in fact all of you, submit the packages that you create this evening so that other people can use the code that you create and benefit from all the wonderful things that you're going to make in this hackathon tonight. So I wish you a successful hackathon. I hope you have a great time. I hope you have really enjoyed WWDC this week. It's still only halfway through the week for me, so I still don't know quite what's going to be announced the next couple of days, but there's certainly been lots of interesting stuff so far. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you have a great conference, and I hope you have a great hackathon and create some amazing packages that we can add to the package index. Good luck, everybody. Bye bye.